very pleased that I have not ended up as the Susan Lucci of the Golden Globes. It's, I have an incredible job. It's an incredible job. The writing, our directors, starting with David Fincher, who I reluctantly forgot to mention in my acceptance speech, but who has been my guru on this experience, who is such an extraordinary, encouraging, tough, decisive, brilliant editor, not just of the actually editing of a film, but the editing of your performance. I always feel like I'm working with somebody who has an X-Acto blade and he's just cutting off all the fat. He likes to get it down to the point where it's the words and the intention and all the stuff that you sometimes bring as an actor, the handles and the stuff that you add, he's getting rid of and getting rid of and getting rid of. He has a reputation for doing a lot of takes, but I actually think that what he's doing, truly, is beating the acting out of you and getting you to be clean and clear and trusting the words. And the words that I've been given in this series has just been extraordinary.
Kevin, over to your left, right here.
My left, yes.
So we've seen Amazon win their first 2 Golden Globes. We're seeing you win a Golden Globe for House of Cards on Netflix. Is this the beginning of a TV revolution, and did you help start it?
I think it's fantastic that companies like Amazon, companies like Netflix, Hulu, and others, and I think that we're going to see in the next decade a lot more stepping forward, particularly companies that have made $1 gazillion. What are they going to do with it? You know, if you want to be in the game and you want to compete, you're going to have to start doing original content. And I think that we're going to see a lot of companies that have been portals for entertainment become producers. And I think that's an incredibly exciting thing because, as we're seeing, the more companies that step up and decide to compete and say we want to be in the game, the more writers are hired, the more actors are hired, the more directors are hired, the more crews are hired, the more films and television that are going to be shot in states all over this country. The more tax incentives will be encouraged in states to look at as a really, really positive way to bring income into their economy and their states. We've had a great relationship with the state of Maryland and shooting House of Cards there. I think it's fantastic. And if we've had something to do with a little bit of the shifting of the paradigm, it's been brilliant to be a part of it. Netflix, they were incredibly brave. They rolled the dice with us. We went out to a lot of the networks, and everybody said, we like your show, we think it's an interesting idea, but we want you to do a pilot. And Netflix was the only network that said, how many do you want to do? And we said 2 seasons, but we're now just wrapped on our 3rd, and we intend to keep going.
Wait, congratulations.
Am I supposed to do this? Because are you doing this, or I'm doing this? Because I can do it,
Over here.
It's not my first rodeo,
Over here.
Over there, okay.
Yes. Congratulations, well deserved.
Thank you.
Anything you can tell us about the upcoming season of House of Cards to get us excited, and are you ready to be the president?
Yes, I can tell you exclusively that there will be scenes and dialogue, movement, surprises, some of it taking place in the White House, some of it taking place elsewhere. And there will be shocks and surprises, pulls and turns. Yes, you've got it from me here.
Kevin, directly in front of you in the middle.
Yeah.
Being on Netflix, you've worked for different companies before. What freedom do you get on Netflix that you've seen that you wouldn't be allowed to do on maybe a network television show?
Well, without giving away too much, I think I hope most people have seen at least the first episode of the first season. I can only imagine the kind of notes that we could have gotten from a network that didn't fully support us artistically and give us complete artistic control. If we'd been at another network, it's entirely possible that we would have heard, we're a little concerned that Kevin strangles a dog in the first 5 minutes of the show. We're afraid we're going to lose half our audience. Netflix, not for a second, in both that first 2 episodes and in every episode since, has ever come to us with a concern. We have absolute freedom of expression, and it is a glorious thing.
Hi, Kevin. Over to your right. Congratulations on your award.
Thank you.
What is it like playing opposite of such strong female characters like Claire and Zoe? And why do you think it's important to have representation of female characters like that in television?
Because that's what women are, you know. I liked what Maggie Gyllenhaal said tonight in her acceptance speech. You know, there are real, genuine women being portrayed. Genuinely complicated, genuinely brilliant, genuinely difficult, genuinely, you know, some are doing good things, some are doing bad things. And I think, you know, we really have to look back, particularly in television, and, you know, give a nod of our hats and our salute to shows as far back as Hill Street Blues. You know, what Stephen Bochco did in that show, have you ever, I don't know if anyone's ever seen the notes that NBC gave Stephen Bochco when he first showed that pilot, and all of the nervousness that NBC had about that series, that there was too many characters, and that they weren't good at their jobs, and that they weren't good family people, and that it was too complicated. Everything that television has built on, and the runway that we have been able to glide along started, I believe, with The Sopranos. 15, 16 years ago, when that show began, when that show put HBO on the map, that paved the way for a remarkable, I think, the third great generation of the golden age of television. The characters, the anti-heroes, the incredibly strong characters for women, no matter what they're doing, no matter what kind of characters they are, the complexity. I look back and say, we could not have been able to do what we've done if it weren't for a remarkable series of brave producers, brave programmers, brave network executives, starting at HBO. And now we see it happening at many other networks. And I think it's absolutely extraordinary. So for me, to go to work every day and look into the eyes of someone who is like and not only just in terms of the work we do together, but the way in which the characters are being written and developed, we're at eye level to each other. It is an incredible, passionate journey, and we love the story that we're telling. So I'm very, very proud of how many opportunities are being given for women in television these days.
Hi there, right in the middle.
Hi there.
Thank you so much for making this show. I don't know anyone who doesn't love the way you play Francis. I wanted to ask you, though, if you could look back on your life and your career, is there a day that stands out as one of the best days you've had?
Yeah, I got a lot of great days. I've had a lot of great days. You know, a lot of incredible moments where I've been able to have lessons. I talked about one of them tonight. You know, when I had the opportunity to spend time with Stanley Kramer, and when I left that room that day when he said what he said to me, and I thought, how extraordinary, you know, you can be at the top of your profession. You can have won every award going. You could have led actors to some of their greatest performances. You could have won, you know, won everything. And it still wasn't good enough. That we still have to try to do better. That was one of the great lessons I've ever had.